Now let us start with the criteria. Certain criteria we have to follow when we are supporting the scaffold. So always the scaffold when we provide within the construction site, already I have told it should be firmly fixed onto the ground. So here we can use some base plate or muscles can be used to fix firmly to the ground. So always this scaffold should fix firmly onto this ground, otherwise what happens is that the entire structure will collapse. So for the concrete slab, it's a firm foundation. Concrete slab is a firm foundation and does not require any mud sill and all. And here you can see a scaffold which is fixed onto the ground by using some mud sills, and here you can see some base plates are also used to fix it onto the ground. So the unstable object should not be used to support the scaffold or platform units. Always that we have to remember in any construction site when we install, when we fix the scaffold, we should not use any unstable. And here in this figure you can see the platform, some planks are kept on the brick, and these bricks are kept one over the other, and on the top the planks are kept, and which is not safe, because when the load comes on the top of these planks, the bricks can fall, or it can deviate from the correct original position. So it is very dangerous using this type of bricks to support these planks on a unstable objects like this bricks. And here you can see the figure on which a person is doing the painting work and he is standing on unstable object. At any point of time he can fall down. So this should not happen. Always we have to use the scaffold or some stairs etc., and should be firmly fixed on the ground when a person do the painting or later jobs. And the front end loaders, here you can see a front end loader, and the civil equipment should not be used to support the scaffold platforms. So even though if you are using, it should be designed by the manufacturer in such a way that should be firmly fixed. A firm support should be there to fix the scaffold. And the pole, legs, posts, frames etc. and uprights can be used for the scaffold, and that is mainly used to prevent the swaying and displacement of the scaffold. You can fix the poles, legs and frames, and also uprights of the scaffold fixed firmly on this ground in order to prevent the displacement of the members of the scaffold. And we can use certain supporting devices for the suspension scaffold, such as hooks, clamps etc., and it should rest on the surface which is capable of supporting at least 4 times the imposed load. Tie backs can be used, and those tie backs must be secured properly and should be anchored onto this building. So always it is installed perpendicular to the face of the buildings or structures. Especially it is used for the suspended scaffold. And the various assets already mentioned, they are portable ladders that we can move, cone ladders, other stair towers, other attachable ladders, stairway type ladders. Prefabricated scaffold assets are there, that is already the scaffold is prefabricated within the site and we are just fixing onto the where the construction work is going on. So there are various types of assets. And the front end loaders, here you can see a front end loader, and the civil equipment should not be used to support the scaffold platforms. So even though if you are using, it should be designed by the manufacturer in such a way that should be firmly fixed. A firm support should be there to fix the scaffold. And we can use the prefabricated scaffold as frames are there, so it should be designed properly and should be uniformly spaced within each frame section. Here you can see a prefabricated scaffold access, and you can see in the middle portion you can see the stairs through which we can climb up and down also. So it should be firmly fixed onto this ground. And If the scaffold is too much high, then we have to provide some rest platform for the workers who is working on the scaffold, and this rest platforms that we are providing should not be used as a work platform. So it should not be used as a work platform if it is less than, if the width of that platform, if it is less than 11.5 inch width, and it has to be provided with sufficient fall protection. And here you can see a person who is keeping his foot on the cross bracings, which is not safe for a person to keep his legs or to stand on the cross bracing, because cross bracings are the structures. You can see the members that is going cross in diagonals. So these members are mainly provided to support or to provide strength to the scaffold structure. So it should not use as a means of access or egress. And the scaffold component should not be overloaded. In the figure you can see the bricks are kept on the planks, and if there is any defect or something happens to the plank, then entire thing will collapse. So always a plank should not be overloaded, and it should always, when you provide the planks, it should be made up of such a material that it should withstand the 4 times the load that is coming on the member. And if any damage is not, it should be immediately replaced, repaired or removed from the service if found damaged.